that wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. And hello and welcome to the WolfMan's call. Man, it is a good Tuesday. Good Tuesday. I got somebody really special today on the show, and we're gonna have Talk His Pitters later. We're gonna talk about Pittsburgh Panthers and breakdowns, and then I have some film. Hopefully that the whole machine is working right. But I gotta tell you, this the guy I got coming on, Chris Neild, I already blew it out of the bag, but this dog is one of the toughest dogs I have known as a Mountaineer. Now I know so many Mountaineers. I know so many. All right, and they're all tough dogs. But this guy is one of the tops. You remember Chris Neild, NoseGuard for the Mountaineers. A dude who would eat up centers and guards and go ahead and spit out their bones. A guy, I'm telling you right now, I watched it. The 3-3-5 is Jeff Castillo's defense. And coaching Chris was like just gold, because you have to understand, when you're in that 3-3-5 defense, you have to have a nose guard. You have to have a nose guard that has to at least take up 2 offensive linemen. Has to, in that system, to work, for it to work well. It has to do it. And that's what Neild did. He had to have a linebacker and a free safety in the middle. That was all there. Well, it all starts up front with the nose guard. And I have right now with me, I'm so excited. I just can't tell you how much I love this man. Love this man, a brother in Mountaineer football who's tough as nails. That's what's up, Chris Neild.
Big Wolf, how we doing, man? Appreciate the warm intro.
Oh my gosh, Truck, man! I'm telling you, I don't think anybody said the name Truck for a nickname, anything in Mountaineer football ever since you left, man. Because there hasn't been anyone that's. When he said Truck, man, and the funny thing is you came from high school. I want to say Stroudsburg, wasn't it in Pennsylvania?
Correct, yeah, in the Poconos. Right. That's right.
Oh, the Pocono Mountains, and you were a tight end, man.
Tight end and middle linebacker. That's right. Yep.
Tight end, middle linebacker, and then Kurt Lav, of all people, thought you were a nose guard.
Yeah, I used to get in a real awkward stance. As a tight end, I would get really low in my stance, and it wasn't really advantageous for me to do that. But he saw that I could bend. You know, I had some decent bend to me, and he's like, we could put another 30, 40 pounds on him. He'll be all right.
Oh, and we did, and he did it, and you helped yourself in that department. Where's all your gold chains, man? Where's all your bling?
Oh, I got one gold down here, man. That's about it. I keep it tucked away now. I'm not the flashy type no more.
Oh,
I don't know if I ever was, to be honest with you, man.
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. I have to think about. Let me think about this. All right, when Kurlav would say, "Hey, Wolf, go get Neild," right? And I had to go wake you up in the morning because I'm like, what am I doing waking this dude up in the morning? I mean, what's going on here, man?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, get yourself out of bed, right? But you did. That was the only one time I had to go chasing you down.
That was for a drug test I overslept for. Yeah, that's right.
You were living in the ghetto part of Motown. You were like everybody else was living in nice places. You were in the ghetto place.
No, I needed my $350 a month rent, man. I needed that cheap rent back in the day. I survived back then, I'll tell you that.
No doubt about it, man. How's everything going? What you doing? Okay, so you're with the Skins and you're at the Texans, but you went back after your injury, you retired, and you went back to Virginia, right?
Correct. Yeah, currently living out in Virginia now with my wife and 2 kids. Actually, just picked up a dog yesterday. Just as a little note there. So we got a new dog added to the family. But yeah, living out here. Got some family nearby, so we're doing pretty well.
All right, big truck. Well, listen. Let me ask you something, man. When you sit there and you think about all those years of sitting in the meeting room with one Bill Kurlavich, what are your memories that you have? Tell people what you think of Kurlavich. What is he to you?
I wouldn't be the player I was, and aside from being the player I was, but being the man that I am today, if it wasn't for him and the way he instilled and he expected toughness from each and every one of his players. And if you weren't going to be tough, then you were going to be ousted. You were going to be out of that room real quick because it wasn't easy being in that room. If you had a bad day of practice and you went in to watch film, I mean, that's the last thing you wanted to look forward to was watching film with him after a bad day of practice. So, the confidence that he instilled in not just me, but the rest of our players, once game day came, we felt confident enough and he turned the switch on and let us play. So for that, I'm eternally grateful. But he's the best coach I ever had. A mentor like none other, and I'm extremely grateful for what he's done.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he, as a character as well. I was going through some musings of my football musings last week, and I was talking about how each coach I thought about what they taught me and what the quotes that they had, and Kurlav had many quotes, many quotes, and I have to abbreviate this, but the one was like, Wolf. And he had that cigar in his hand, and he had the smirk in his smile. And he said, Wolf, he said, never ever let them see you sweat. Right? He said, because when you look like you're as nervous as a hooker in church, it's over.
That's right. He had quotes. I mean, I wish as many blows to the head as I've taken, I can't remember all of them, but I mean, he had us in check in terms of watching film and making sure we're following our assignments, but he'll slip one in there every once in a while that'll just have you questioning, like, oh man, what the hell did he just say? Oh man, that's funny as hell. So yeah, he's one of a kind, man. Kurlav's one of a kind.
Only man I know that actually swear to a priest in church, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oh my gosh! Well, anyway, he's doing good, and only one more story on him. Do you remember when Stu took over, Coach Stewart, and Julian Miller was lining up the defensive line, and Kurlav had his bad knees. Remember? And sure, and Jules jumped off sides.
Oh man, there was a couple times where he did that. Yeah, and the one time where he threw the guy and and then he hit him with the towel. Oh
yeah, he was hitting him with the towel. Oh my gosh, that brings back so many memories, man.
I vividly remember that. Yeah, that piece of tape I vividly remember. Everybody just getting in that room and watching it. That was hilarious, man. Oh my god.
Stu actually he taped that, or they got it on tape, so he played it for the whole team. Remember?
Yeah. Oh man, that was oh man, that was hilarious. That was like my last year. I think that was hilarious.
It was. I'll tell you, just good times. You learned a lot. What do you think you took from, being a Mountaineer, man, and having those good times, and your compadres there in the defensive line, and your defense and your linebackers. You had Reed, just so many players. What's your take now on it?
Oh man, we had such a. I mean, I hate to sound so cliche, but the group we had. With whether it be first string, second string, third string, everybody combined, it was such a special group, spanning from my time from 07 to 2010. We I don't want to say that people don't care about what they do, but we genuinely cared about each other. And to this day, I mean, we have a group chat where there's 70 some odd people in there. You know what I mean? Just defense, just the defenders. You know what I mean? And we talk from time to time, and we bullshit about other things. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, it's what I learned back then, and my 5 years that I spent there. I mean, that's going to carry me, through the rest of my life. Just the friendships that I've earned, that I've gained, and the friends that I have there. It's something that I won't forget. I mean, that was a time of my life back then.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of nitty gritty, and that would be the 3-3-5 defense. What made it work so well for Jeff Castile? Well, first, number one is I think he was just an incredible adjuster at halftime. I don't know what that meant about his pregame planning, but at halftime, he always shut everybody down once he saw what they were doing. And I'm only kidding about the pregame. He knows that. I know you hear me, Cass. All right? I know you watch the show. All right? But seriously, man, is what made that defense click, and what part did the nose guard, in your mind, what did you know you had to do? Because people really don't understand about eating up a couple offensive linemen.
Yeah, so I mean, first I'll touch on just being a nose guard in general. I mean, that's a position where if you are expecting to receive the glitz and the glamour, or if you're worried about what the stat book looks like, that's not the position for you. It's something that you have a job, and your job is to eat up as many blockers as. But obviously, this goes more so to the run game, but you want to eat up as many blockers as possible, whether that's 2, whether that's 3. If I'm caught on film and it's just me in the center and I'm not making that play, then I don't want to watch that film, with coach, because I know I'm going to get chewed out, So that's the nose guard is a key cog in letting that go. If you have a weak nose guard who lets the center up, blocks that middle linebacker, that seam is huge in there. So it's imperative that the nose guard is tough down there. Now, what really makes a 3-3-5 go, in my opinion, is you got to have speed at almost all positions. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm the fastest person out there, but I don't think I was the slowest back then. And I think with myself and Scoot and Julian and Bruce coming in and just. I don't even have to discuss the other 8 and the other 7 or 8 that are behind us, but because they got enough speed back there. I mean, we had blazing fast linebackers back in the day with with JT Thomas and Pat Lazier and Anthony Leonard, and the list goes on. I mean, we had ballers, man, that were just ball hungry, ball hawks, and eventually it clicked. In 2010, it took us a couple years after 2007, we had a great defense. I can't remember if we were ranked 3rd or 4th in the country. 08, we stumbled a little bit on defense. 09 got a little bit better, but in 2010 it clicked again. We got our players in the right positions. We got Bruce, which helped out tremendously as far as our sack total is concerned. So yeah, I mean those 2 years, especially 07 and 10, I think were crucial. For that season's success.
It reminds me of being on the sidelines. I'm like, listen, Neil, the defensive line. I'm like, listen, we'll tell you guys something. You're going to go out, and this is against Auburn, and you're going to go out.
Yeah.
And going to win this game and win it. And, you know, like I said, and I just give you everything I got, right? And you're like, yeah, remember that? And you guys went out and you did it. So the next game, I'm like doing the same thing, and we lost. And you came back and said, Wolf, I really believed you that we were going to do it. You know that? He said, I really believe we were going to win, man, because after that Auburn game, you're like, gave us the best speech. I went out there the second time, and I went out there, but, you know, I don't know. I forgot what game.
So short. Yeah. Hey, man, it happens, man. It happens.
It worked for the first time, the speech to go get him. Regardless, all right, so let's go ahead and get to this because it's Pitt week, and that's why I wanted you to come on here and a few people understand better what Pitt week means. And let's go ahead and watch this right here and tell me what you think of this. This is our doozy right here, Chris. All right, let me blow this up for you, buddy, because you might be able to see here. It's our doozy right there, the head coach, and here comes Keaton Slovis last year. Remember this? And he's at BYU. All right, so here we go. This guy's he's saying, you know, F West Virginia, right? Right when their doozy's smiling right there. Okay, so okay, there we go. We can deal with that, right? But then here after the game last year, check it out, man. They were cattling, man. They were chasing West Virginia back in there, not chasing them, but pushing them in to leave. You know, basically classless, man. Basically classless, right? Now tell me, what does that do to you now, Mr. Mountaineer? Yeah, I see you shaking your head. What does that do to you to say, you know what? That ain't cool, man. That ain't cool, right? Because, again, listen, it can be bad on both sides. I get it. But you know what? It's the rivalry, man. So what? Tell me what this rivalry means to you and what it should mean to these Mountaineers.
Man, I don't even know where to start, man. I know where I could start, and I don't like talking about that day in 2007. Although that was one of the, I don't want to say the first time because my first year, 06, I think we handled them that was my redshirt year, but we handled them pretty easily at Pitt. That was when Pat and Steve just went nuts.
Right.
And you know, obviously what happened in 2007, that actually happened. The whole thing that happened in 2007, that was on my 20th. I remember that, man, like it was yesterday, on my 20th birthday. That was probably one of the worst days of my life, to be honest with you. You know, we don't have to discuss that further, but you know, every year it was, I mean, it had a different feel. I mean, as soon as the clock hit triple zeros, for the game before, you knew, all right, and now win or lose on that game, all right, now we're on to Pitt. Now that's Pitt week. It has a certain feel when you show up to the facility the first day of practice that week. It almost feels different, you know. I take it personal when you know, especially them are disrespectful. You know what I mean? When they're disrespectful in a manner like you just showed me, they were back then. I remember myself, and there was another lineman for them. I can't recall who, but him and I got into it, you know, before the game started. This was my last year there. We ended up winning at Pitt, but it has a different feel to it when you get out there. The intensity is picked up. You could feel it on both sides of the ball, and it doesn't let up. You know, until somebody is way ahead, which didn't happen a lot in our games. They were usually always pretty tight. You know, there's smack talking going on constantly. It's almost as if you have more energy in those games. Usually me, I don't like to talk a lot because I'm pretty busy and I get tired enough. You know, I used to get tired pretty quick. So I was like, you know what? Let me not talk. Let me just chill out and do what I got to do. And then, you know, once we got up, maybe I would chirp a little bit. But with them, it's just, you know, and it was very aggressive, very abrasive, like physical contact. It was just oh man, I'm getting amped up right now just thinking about it, to be honest with you. I'm excited for this weekend. You know, I believe the players are excited too. I mean, if they haven't gotten a taste of what it was last year to play them, I think, you know, being at home and seeing what our fan base will do in terms of, you know, how that crowd is going to be, and then, you know, obviously what happens in 2007, that was on my 20th. I remember and a night game at Mountaineer Field, man, that's gonna be great to see.
Truck, let me ask you this: if you could restore one rivalry, which I think what I'm getting at is trying to restore one rivalry, would be Virginia Tech? Would it be Pitt? Would it be Syracuse? I mean, I'm just throwing Syracuse out there. Who would it be for you?
Oh, Pitt by far, hands down, Pitt. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Syracuse. Yeah, they were a rival back in the day. In the Big East. Not so much when I was playing there, only because we handled them pretty well. I think we were 4-1 when I was going there, and we didn't. I never played VTech, but obviously that was a pretty good rivalry as well. Between Pitt and VTech, I would definitely go with Pitt.
Well, I think right now my theory is this: all this conference realignment. If there's ever a time to get it together, to go play the Backyard Brawl every single year. There's 100+ years of this. Now is the time. Now is the year. Ron Baker said it. Neil Brown has said it. I think they put out the offer to Pitt. I'm not sure how they feel about it, but right now, play it every year, every single year. And the Backyard Brawl deserves that. In my mind, it deserves it. Right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you look at. When you think about non-conference opponents that are rivals, one that comes to mind is Florida State. SEC, ACC. They play each other every year. Same time every year. So I think it's the last game of the year, if I'm not mistaken, every year for them.
I can't remember, but you're probably right.
Yeah. So I mean, if those two can do it, I don't see any reason why we couldn't get that done. You know what I mean? That's something to look forward to every year. I mean, even in high school, we had a rival high school. And that was the one game that we look forward to every year. You know what I mean? So I think if in West Virginia, if there was one thing to look forward to have something on the schedule every year, because I did. I look when that schedule came out, and and sometime I don't know when it comes out in the spring. I think you look to see what that schedule looks like, and you see when we play Pitt. It's usually for us it was like right after Thanksgiving, which I love. That I love football right after Thanksgiving. So if they can get that going again, that'd be. And I think the fans like watching it too. I mean, who doesn't like watching that on TV? Rivals going against each other. You know what I mean? That's what college football is all about.
Yeah, and I think with all this conference realignment, it's needed. Especially
absolutely.
The more rivalry games, the better for the entire country. Because let's be honest, it's going to be Is it ABC this weekend? Saturday? I think it's ABC Saturday.
I think so.
And it's national TV again. And I was listening to Neil Brown's press conference yesterday, and he said it's the first time since 2016 that West Virginia is going to be playing a night game on a Saturday. Night game. We played a Thursday night game. Yeah, this is my first time. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's good stuff. And we just played one at Penn State where it looked like the Mountaineers weren't oppressed on the moment. They went in there, they tried, they battled. They came out to lose again. The game was never in question, but I thought that they showed up, and I thought that was important. Now they go ahead, they beat Duquesne convincingly, despite a slow start. But after that swing of emotions, you know how that goes. You go out to play Penn State, a big rivalry team, or national TV exposure. Everybody's been saying you suck and you're going to get crushed, and you go ahead and play it, and you show up and you show out, and then you got to come back and play Duquesne. How tough is that to get your right back up, even though it's only 12 games you're guaranteed for the year?
Yeah, I mean, I can't recall. Speaking from experience, I can't recall. I don't think we've ever had game one be an opponent like that. Usually we were playing like Western Michigan or Villanova or something like that. You know what I mean? So it was a little different. I can't speak from experience, but I do know the rush of playing, a high intensity game, with a lot of pressure on you, and then bouncing back to play in, somebody like the likes of Duquesne. You know what I mean? And that wave of emotions, if you can't handle it well, if the team can't handle it, and the coach doesn't instill that confidence in them, it's going to be tough, and I'm sure some people were a little worried when Duquesne started off 7-0 last weekend, but it's all nerves, it's all nerves. It's just, take time to relax. You're out there, these guys know what they can do on the field. It's all about getting it done. You know what I mean? I heard this the other day, and it actually makes sense to me. Let the coach worry about the points. You just go out there and play and listen to what he has to say. And I never thought about it like that. I obviously let the coach worry about putting the right play call out there, but it's the players who are out there playing, and I think once they got their nerves settled a little bit, obviously there was like a damn near 2-hour rain delay, which those always suck. I can't stand rain delays, man, because I always come out a little stiff afterwards. I'm always just in the locker room, just hanging out, like waiting, like when the hell are we gonna get this shit started? Yeah.
Weren't you in the Marshall one, the rain delay? Were you there for that?
I was, yeah. Marshall, and the bigger one was Auburn. That was the one.
Yeah. Well, remember that?
That was right. That was like a river down there, man. That was rough.
Wait a minute, that's the game I told you that you guys were all gonna win. Remember, because we were up. I'm like, you gotta play because we actually weren't kicking their can. You guys were.
Yeah, we were doing well. No, we were doing really well. Absolutely, man. That rain delay didn't help us at all.
No, that was like 2 feet deep in the locker room, or right outside the locker room. You couldn't even remember that. All right. Well, we're reminiscing a little bit. Let me ask you this. In your NFL days, what would you wish if you could come back and tell your Mountaineer brothers now, all right, that you learned in the NFL that maybe you wish you would apply to in college or would have known?
Probably take a step back a little bit. I think obviously when I say take a step back, I mean literally sometimes when it comes to D-line play, you know what I mean? I think with college, some of I don't want to downgrade the opponents that we played, but obviously when you get to the professional level, everybody's good, and I noticed, I used to play real tight up to the ball, and you can't, unless you're Aaron Donald fast, and I hate to use him as an example because he went to Pitt. But he's a special. Obviously he's a special talent. But his quickness is something that's a bit unmatched. And when you're not as quick and you're up close on the ball on the center, it's hard to get a good feel on guys sometimes. And I think in the pros that helped me out, taking a step back, kind of seeing everything. But overall, I think just really in the time went by so fast for me. When it was in college, when it was in the pros, and I think just to embrace and enjoy every minute you got, man, because especially nowadays with NIL and I can't imagine how campuses are nowadays with athletes. So, enjoy and embrace every moment you have out there, man, because you never know when it's going to be over. You know what I mean? You could transfer tomorrow from the looks of it, from how it goes nowadays. So
you're not too far off, man. You're not too far off. I'll say, all right, let me ask you this before I let you go, man. You're coming down this weekend, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I'll be there.
You're coming down, you're bringing your boy?
Yeah. We'll be down there. We'll be ready, man. This is my first time back in years, man. So I'm really looking forward to it.
How old is he now?
Oh, say that again?
How old is your boy now?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. One of my good friends. I'm sorry. Not my son.
I forgot. I don't know slang, man. Hey, my boy's coming down. All right.
Sorry about that.
I'm an old timer. I'm thinking my son.
Oh no, he ain't ready for Morgantown yet. No, not yet. He was born there, but he wasn't raised there. He don't know yet. So.
All right. Well, when are you coming down, man? Because you know what? I'm going to text Neil and say he should get you to talk to their team on the morning of, man, so they understand what it's like to play Pitt. When are you coming?
Oh, I'll be there. I'm gonna try to get there before noon. So,
all right, brother.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I'm going to be in touch. Thank you so much. I'll see you hopefully this weekend. We'll get together and just make sure one thing, man. You got to know, I was an incredible nose guard coach.
Absolutely, man. Hell yeah.
All right, hey, Chris Neild, man.
I still got you on my phone as Coach Wolf, man.
Yeah, there you go, brother. I love you, man. Hey, you know what? You guys were incredible. You guys were a lot, and you were an inspiration, man. And you guys were a great defensive line for Coach Bill Kurlavich, honestly. And your name should be up there amongst the top dogs of West Virginia in the D-line, man, for sure.
I appreciate that, Wolf.
Nobody ate 2 offensive linemen at one time like you. All right, nobody did.
I appreciate that, Wolf. Thank you, man. Much love, brother.
Yep, we'll see. All right, man. That is so cool. Chris Neild, Skins, Texas. I mean, before he got hurt, man, this dude was he was thick, man. Thick. Dude, man. And just tough as nails. And, he said he didn't talk much. I don't know. I sometimes remember him chirping on the field a little bit. I remember him. I think he was talking some smack to a few centers when he was like smacking them and crushing them. And what do we have here? So again, we got anything about Chris Neild here? Talk his Pitt looks like he's starting to run his mouth already before I even get to him. And he's out there. It looks like he's ready for this game. It would be crazy. Well, let's go. Let's do this. All right. Let's do the QR codes so I can get them in. All right, sports column right there. You see that? You can go ahead and Frank Veer, if you are an amateur or professional and you want to get published, and it's right to the sports column, they'll publish you if you don't suck. And if you can write a good article and you can do all that, then you'll be good to go, and they will publish it for you. And we'll go down here for Power Mini battery, the last battery, man, rechargeable batteries. Hey, the Pallet deck, man, I ran a show off this when the power went out. Twice I did, actually. The power went out in the studio here. Ran it for Pallet Mini batteries, and you'll never buy AA batteries again. Never buy it. Can you imagine that? Should have told Neil about that for his kids. I'm sure they're playing those video games. And then we go to Johnny Cantwell, United in Purpose. That's right. West Virginia United, man. Bold in strength. United in Purpose. That's right. Come together. You can check out their website. QR coded. We're getting it done, doing it right. And last but not least, Arson Grange Company. Do it the AGC way. What does it say? It's easier for a hemp dipper. You know what? No tobacco, no nicotine. Get off the tobacco, get off the nicotine. You can get it at Parmar stores, our sponsor. All right. I got my QR codes in, so I didn't forget this time, which is really a good sign. And it looks like here, we're going to go ahead and bring him in. All right. Talk is cheap. No, I'm just kidding. Talk is Pitt. What's up, Talk is Pitt? How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Wolfman? How's everything?
Oh, everything's going just wonderful. It's Pitt week, so that means it's a bunch of talking a bunch of crap week is what I'm thinking. What do you say to that?
Oh man, it honestly, I think I made the same mistake that the Pitt coaching staff and the Pitt players made last week, and I think I caught myself looking forward to the Backyard Brawl instead of paying attention to Cincinnati, and it cost us dearly.
Well, that sounds like a likely excuse.
Oh yeah, and hey, it's the honest truth. I caught myself looking to a game I shouldn't have been looking. But I'm glad the Backyard Brawl's back. I agree, it does need to be played every year. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I was actually looking at this info yesterday. There's a gap where there's like 2 or 3 years where we're not scheduled to play.
Right, but that can be changed.
It definitely could. It definitely could. I don't like that it's played at the beginning or in the middle of the season. I always think rivalry games, especially when I played high school football, it was always at the end of the season. And that's what I think, rivalry games should be played, end of the season.
Well, I understand where you're coming from with that, but right now, I just take it anytime, honestly.
Oh, well, yeah. If this was any other situation, Wolfman, I'd be like, you know what? It's whatever because, we play each other every year, blah, blah, blah. But, this isn't one of those normal situations because up until last year, we didn't play each other for 10 years.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. That was the biggest crime and all of this, moving the conference realignment. And again, I think there's only one way to justify it, to make it right, and that is to get it back on the schedule. And let me just put this out there, right? So right now it's West Virginia, Ren Baker, the AD, put it out to your AD saying, let's do it. Not only in football, but in every sport. Let's go ahead and do this. So where's the response?
Oh, well, we agreed. We, Pat Narduzzi and our athletic director, Heather Lake, or Like, however you pronounce her last name, she and Narduzzi both said that, you know, the game needs to be played every year in football, basketball, baseball, everything.
Volleyball.
Those are
right.
Yeah.
All right.
We want the backyard brawl now. It doesn't seem like we're talking about that because we're trying to coerce Penn State into playing every year. We want to have 2 non-conference games scheduled every year, and that's West Virginia and Penn State. So we're chomping at the mouth at Penn State right now.
There's no way that Pitt wants West Virginia and Penn State in the same year every year. There's no way.
We do. We do.
Well, I think that's a little insanity. If you,
I know. I never said we were mentally, you know, intact.
well, but I think we've learned that lesson about playing 2 Power Fives on a conference. Now, the thing is, it's going to change here in the scheduling. I think, and I'm not sure about the Big 12 if it's all worked out yet because you got now the new schools coming in. But with the new schools, you know, that round robin is not there anymore. It's, you know, you're going to have to play probably 8, not 9 conference games like the Big 12's been doing. You know, and could think about the ACC. And is the ACC stable right now, adding the Cal and the Stanford and SMU?
SMU, yes. Because believe it or not, I do feel that SMU has more to offer the ACC, and the biggest thing that SMU has to offer is the Texas market. Sorry, I was trying to read the comment that you were putting in the banner at the same time. But I think SMU coming into the ACC taps the ACC into the Texas market. Now, as far as Cal and Stanford is concerned, I'm not for that. I don't like having the travel of other non-revenue sports that have to play more than one contest a week. And there are quite a few college sports that play more than one contest a week. So if they're scheduling 2 away games within a week, and then you're asking students to be students on top of that, I think you're asking a little bit too much.
Yeah, well, I understand what you're saying. I don't think anyone really cares about the students anymore because I think they went out the window.
No, and that's the thing. Nobody cares about the students. That's the problem. And it's all money. That's all they see is dollar signs. But the thing is, Cal didn't bring any revenue last year. They spent as much money as they did or as they made. So actually, I have that written down because I did
do research.
Yeah, I did the research on that a few weeks ago. So Cal brought in. Oh, actually, sorry, that was actually Stanford. Cal made a $3.5 million profit last year. So their total revenue was $105,044,581, but they only brought in $101.8 million. Stanford is the program that had to spend as much as they earned.
Right. Well,
which was $133 million.
But Stanford, and Cal and the other sports besides football are elite.
Yeah, and they're great sports. Yeah. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the last time Pitt played Stanford, we lost in a bowl game.
Yeah.
And
look at that.
And yeah, I'm reading that comment right there.
They're saying, I had to be that. That's what they're saying.
But yeah, I just don't see the big money grabber for Cal and Stanford. SMU, I can see that only because they're tapping into the Texas TV market, which a lot of people say that's not going to help the ACC, and I say that's complete BS.
You know, I'm having fun with you this week. I would do so this week coming out here. But I'll tell you this is, honestly, man, I respect the players. I respect the coaches. You know what I mean? I like Narduzzi. I don't like Narduzzi. I like that he's a prick and that he's tough and he knows football. I like the Pitt Panthers that they're tough, but I also dislike them because I think they suck in a lot of ways of being pricks.
I agree with you. 100%.
I like to hate them. I like it.
Oh, I do too. I love to love them and I love to hate them. God rest his soul, rest in peace to Golden Blue Dude, somebody who I was extremely close to, made me realize that college football rivalries are important. And whether you actually hate the team or you respect them at the same time, it's good for both fan bases, the atmospheres, the universities. And no matter if both teams are doing good or both teams are doing bad or one's doing good, one's doing bad, whatever the case may be, the one thing you can count on for Pitt and West Virginia is there will be a fight.
Yeah, there will be a fight, and it will be a challenge. And I mean, I could tell you, the old. Do you remember? I don't know how old you are, but the old stadium. Did you ever go to a game in the old stadium?
No, I'm 34. I just turned 34 a week and a half ago.
Well, the old stadium I played in, right? And the locker rooms stunk. They sucked, man. They were the smallest locker room. That and Virginia Tech before the new additions of Virginia Tech, but the stadium at Pitt was horrible, and you couldn't get out because there's just one tunnel in the old Pitt Stadium, one tunnel, and they were out there. They were right across the hall. And Coach said we had to stay in there, man. You just came out. You were just so angry at having to stay in that locker room and sit there for an hour or so and just be like, man, I couldn't wait to get out on that field to play Pitt. And really, you heard Chris Neild there, I think you were on. Man, what he felt about that brawl it's the way everybody feels. And that's the greatest thing about rivalries. And that's what's missing in college football. And West Virginia, just to bring it right back to the very beginning of what I said, we got to have this game every year.
We definitely do now. I think, I don't know if a lot of West Virginia fans will agree with me on this, but the rivalry, I don't want to say was killed, but it was dumbed down to just two teams playing that hate each other. I know it's still a rivalry, and I know both Pitt and West Virginia, the fan base, the teams, the coaches, whatever, they both still hate each other. I just don't think because of the 10-year gap where we played each other that it's ever going to be what it was.
Maybe not, but I thought last year you guys did some things to piss us off enough to get it going again.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
that tunnel video you showed just a little bit ago, I didn't find out about that until about a month and a half ago. I didn't know that it even happened. But there should be one bright side in that. JT Daniels walked through the crowd of Pitt players to shake Servassier Dennis's hand and give him a hug and said, "You're one hell of a player. You are the reason why we lost this game. And I commend you for that." And JT Daniels even talked about it after the press game conference. Now, you guys aren't the only ones we've done that to. We do that to everybody.
Well,
everybody.
Well, we're going to see how that goes. Now, Mike Rouse here, he's got a question for you. He says, you thought about, what do you think about Jerkovich being booed there for Cincinnati game?
It's how Keaton Slovis got booed all last year. Now, do I think Jerkovich handled it well in the press conference? Not really. But also at the same time, I think he's right, because what the Pitt Panther fan base and the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base have in common is they're ready to give up on a player after one bad game. And and this is what separates me from the Pitt Panther fan base and why I cannot stand most of them. is if you're willing to give up on a player after one bad game, and this is exactly what it is, then why are you even cheering for our fan base? Like, you have no business cheering for them when they do good. And it was a very, 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 very bad game. Phil Jerkovic went, where is it? Here it is. Phil Jerkovic, 10 for 32, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns. We still almost won that game. This close. Close.
But I will tell you that 10 to 32, that sucks, dude. That does suck.
It does.
That's a bad number. Who was that out? Was that the receivers or was that the quarterback? Was it both? Offensive line?
I would say both, honestly, because what I started seeing in the second quarter is Pitt's defense started to be able to contain Cincinnati's run game. And that's when Pat Narduzzi decided to keep DeAndre Jules and Tyler Bentley in the game. Those are our 2 biggest defensive tackles. DeAndre Jules, 6'3", 310 pounds. Tyler Bentley, 6'3", 305 pounds. Everybody else is under 300 pounds. And every time one of those under 300 guys got in there, we got lit up. And if DeAndre Jules was in there and Tyler Bentley was in there, Cincinnati couldn't do jack squat. Jack diddly squat. And I'm glad that Pat Narduzzi and Randy Bates decided to keep those 2 in there for the rest of the game, or else, Wolfman, it would have got 10 times worse. I would have had flashbacks to the ACC championship in 2018 when Kenny Pickett only threw for 8 yards total.
I remember that game. I watched that game. And I never could have been a Steeler today. And I still think he's going to be huge, man. Kenny Pickett.
I do. I think, like, here's the thing. Back to Jerkovic. When I watched that game, and I watched it twice in full replay, so I spent 8.5 hours out of my day watching one game trying to analyze it. 2 things stood out. One, Phil Jerkovic seemed like he forgot how to play football, and I think the pressure of him coming home to be a Panther really got to his head, and he felt like there was probably too much pressure. Now, on the other hand, the amount of dropped balls the receivers had, and there's no excuse when Phil Jerkovic throws a ball right here. You see this Wolfman right here.
I do.
The nose of the ball hits you right here. There's nobody around you, and you still drop it.
Well, yeah, you know what? I will say this, though, is that the Cincinnati, I watched that because of the weather delay. And, they're Cincinnati, they got a team too now. I mean, it's.
Oh, they do.
It was tough. Now, so let's get into this Pitt, all right? Let's get into what you got here. Let's talk about the offense. And Cignetti is the offensive coordinator. And I know Neil Brown has a lot of respect for him, and I do too. I know him very well. He played here at WVU. He's a GA up there at Pitt, and then he just came back and coach. But he's going to grind that run, man, until you guys use 3 tight ends. What do you see coming here as how you're going to attack this West Virginia defense, especially going 10 for 32? You really got to set up the run, I think, to go ahead. Maybe with this WVU secondary, maybe they'll think differently. I mean, but again, Cignetti doesn't do anything without setting up a running game.
No, he doesn't. And he said in his press conference yesterday, he regrets opening up this series against Cincinnati with 3 straight pass plays because a lot of people didn't realize Cincinnati probably has the biggest defensive tackles or nose guards in all of college football. I mean, when you have 2 defensive tackles that are both 340 pounds, he thought he wasn't going to be able to run the ball against them. And he was right. He wasn't. Unless you count the second half, that's when you started seeing the run game start to work. But we don't have that home run hitter like we did last year with Izzy Abanikanda. And even during the Backyard Brawl, you guys were still able to hold Izzy Abanikanda to, I believe, under 50 yards rushing. And he exploded after that game. He absolutely exploded. And we got Rodney Hammond, who honestly should be the number one running back. And why he isn't doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. There must be something going on at practice that are like, okay, maybe he's not ready to take the reins just yet, which is why we have Sebo Flemister, the Notre Dame transfer, and Daniel Carter. Daniel Carter, and this is coming from a couple West Virginia fans, is being compared to C.J. Donaldson as far as size. And the fact that when he got the Pitt, he wasn't a running back. He was actually a tight end, which is exactly the situation C.J. Donaldson was in. He was a tight end, not a running back. And then Neil Brown, which might be the smartest thing he's done in his whole entire West Virginia coaching career, is realize Donaldson is not a tight end, he's a running back. And that's what Pat Narduzzi did. Carter's a running back. And he's hard to bring down. And I just don't get why we didn't use him more often. I just don't get it. If we're going to beat West Virginia, we're going to have to do, and I hate to bring this up, we're going to have to do what we did in 2007, and that's keep the defensive ends as far out as possible. And that's exactly how Pitt was able to get pressure on Pat White and cause some problems. And they need to keep the safeties in the middle of the field, not deep this time, because that's exactly how Cincinnati was able to pick our secondary apart in the first half.
Well, do you think that a Garrett Green offense that can pick apart Pitt defense like that?
No, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to.
I want to know what you think.
I'm not trying to disrespect West Virginia at any means, because believe it or not, I hate Penn State way more than you guys. Garrett Green, if he would have been the starting quarterback last year, I would answer that question with a yes. But West Virginia did lose a ton of their offensive production from last year. Now, where I will give you credit is that guy you just gave a scholarship to, Clement.
Right.
He's a monster. Absolute stud.
Wait.
Kid can go up and do contested catches, and he's not that tall. He's really not. He's only, 6'1", I think? That's what he's listed as.
Exactly.
And he's an absolute killer.
Wait a minute, you can't say he's a killer. He's had one game. It was against the Dukes. He's a freshman. He's a talented young man, and he just earned a scholarship, and kudos to him for that. But I mean, come on now, let's.
I think he's a killer, to be honest.
You're trying to pump smoke up all of our cans. You're thinking that this guy, all of a sudden, this freshman's a freaking doggone killer.
He's better than any other receiver we got on our roster.
What did you, Pitt, Scott? Is that you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, why does the Pitt have anyone on the receiver roster? That's good. I mean,
so
I'm looking at your roster right now. I'm seeing, you got Bubba Mean Sr. You have for wide receiver. You also have a sophomore. I mean, these are freshmen, man. You have a junior. You got a senior, junior, and sophomore for your three top receivers, right there.
So Gavin Bartholomew, who's our tight end, and Kanate Mumfield. They're our biggest targets this year, because to me they're the only ones who. Excuse me, I just ate not too long ago. They're the two biggest threats we have, because they're the only receivers that actually went up and tried to catch the ball. It seems like as soon as the other receivers, as soon as they got their hands on it, they forgot how to secure the ball. They forgot how to fight to keep possession. Them two didn't. They knew exactly what their assignments were. And to be honest, if it wasn't for them two, we would have never scored. All
right. So you told me about that on your offense. Now, what is the defense going to try to do here to slow it down? They like to go a lot of man coverage. They like to be aggressive. They like to blitz. They like to stop the run. Can your defensive line stop this West Virginia's offensive run? Because this offensive run is pretty darn physical.
It is. I'm not confident that we're going to be able to stop the run if we don't have those two defensive tackles that I told you about earlier, DeAndre Jules and Tyler Bentley. I'm concerned about the run game. I do think that West Virginia will have a solid day running, and I do think that's exactly how West Virginia will have to beat Pittsburgh, because last year our corners couldn't cover worth crap. This year it isn't necessarily like that, because even with as good as a day as Emory Jones had, he didn't really have too good of a day. I think he was 10 for 15 for 145 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of touchdowns. So our corners in the second half against Cincinnati, and our whole entire defense, of that matter, was able to shut them down.
Right, you got two seniors there in your corners, and I'm trying to look for your nickel guy.
That would be.
So you got your
that would either be Marquez Williams or.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Javon McIntyre.
Yep. All right. So again, is how are you going to go ahead with your defensive line, the linebackers? Playing a lot of man coverage. Because I'll be honest with you, if there's one thing that West Virginia's had bad for the last few years, and I'm going to just say this in the Neil Brown era, to be quite honest with you, is that West Virginia receivers have had a hard time getting off man coverage. Man coverage. That's what they've done. They haven't done it. And maybe it's because there's been 4 different wide receiver coaches in 4 years or 5 years. And maybe, Bilal Marshall, the wide receiver coach now, is going to be teaching them better. But again, if I was an opposing defender, I would go ahead and I would just cover up West Virginia receivers unless they couldn't run at all. I'm talking about.
Well, see, that's exactly what we're going to have to do. That's the first thing. But the biggest thing, we're going to have to stop your run game.
Well, that's why you load the box and you load up on the corners. And you go press man. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What else I would do? I would go cover 2 5 under man, because you got 2 safeties there that are going to be sitting and watching the running game while everybody else is man coverage, and they will also help in the deep balls, because Garrett Green can throw a deep ball.
He can definitely throw a deep ball. Accuracy, I think, is still a little bit of a problem with him.
Can't lie about that.
Because to be honest, that first few minutes of the game against Duquesne, West Virginia should have been up like 28-7. And the problem is the receivers either couldn't necessarily bring down the ball, or Garrett Green just threw it just a little bit off. And everybody knows just a little bit off is enough to, disrupt, consistency in catching the ball. And what I think what you just explained is Duquesne did exactly what Pitt did, or what Pitt likes to do, and that's play man coverage. Now, for whatever reason, they stopped doing that after the delay, and I think they just got a little bit too cocky and thought like, we're going to do the same thing we did in the first half. And to be honest, that delay helped you guys a lot. I think it gave you guys a chance to calm down a little bit, realize, hey, we're playing good ball. We're not playing as good as we should. And then you guys just came out and just chomped them.
Yeah, when the Lightning came on, it did give them a chance to relook. Again, after such a physical Penn State game, snow build up, having a letdown in the beginning. Yeah, I could see that coming. That's just nature, in my opinion. All right, so let's go here, talk his Pitt. I appreciate your time, man, but let's finish up. Whoa, what's your predictions here, offensively, defensively, and let's hear what you got, and then I'm going to give you what I got.
So I think Phil Jerkovic is going to have a better game. I'm hoping he has a better game. I'm not saying he's going to absolutely torch your secondary, although I do think that is your weakness of your defense. I think he's going to have the stats that he had during the Wofford game, which was 15-23 for 214 yards, a touchdown, and he also had 50 yards rushing with a touchdown. I think he's going to be able to do that. However, if our defensive line cannot stop the run, it's not going to turn out well. And I honestly think as of right now, West Virginia will win this game 24-21.
All right. Well,
I'm just being honest. That's not what I want to say. I'm thinking about checking myself into a mental hospital. But I'm just being honest. I don't see the firepower and the excitement and the talent that we had last year on the offensive side of the ball. We just don't have it.
Yeah. Well, you got a brand new quarterback that obviously wasn't jiving until late. I mean, they did come back. We got to give him credit. They fought.
Oh, he did. He did. And I don't want to take that away from him. I don't want to take that away from him. But the receivers were not on the same page. They were running. I counted 12 routes that each receiver ran wrong. And I played receiver in high school. I know how to run a slant. I know how to run a dig. I know how to run a hook and come back when you know your quarterback is going to underthrow the ball.
I can't argue with that. I mean, those are you're giving out legit things there. That's why I take you seriously, man. What you say, and I'm going to say this. We got a question here. Who's the backup quarterback for Pitt? Who is he?
Ironically, he's the Penn State transfer, Christian Bayer.
Okay, I got you.
He's better. I know he only has one game that he's ever started, but he just seems to have the much more simple mechanics when it comes to quarterback play, timing, reading the defense, confidence.
Yeah, I see it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you got a 6'5" quarterback, 6'4" quarterback. We got a 5'11" quarterback. All right. Well, listen, talking this Pitt, man. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. All right, I think it's going to go. West Virginia's going to win. All right, I'm just going to tell you why. Because the offensive line is going to take care of business, and the Cole Taylor, the tight end, is going to step up, and he's going to have a huge night. And when the defense they're going to go ahead and they're going to start moving the pocket. I saw against Duquesne, Garrett Green, he was moving the pocket, or Neil Brown was moving the pocket with him more for plays. I think that's going to happen a little bit more. I think they're going to have a little bit of conflict between the pass and the run. And I think it's going to put that defense in problem, especially when they're trying to go man and they're looking back. And then if you go ahead and do that kind of man, guess what you do? You got to account for the quarterback who's then going to be running. So you'll see him do some of that. On defense, I think the secondary is going to have issues again with that. But I will say this, we'll see what happens. They got a different plan for him. They didn't want to show in Duquesne. I just want to see them go ahead and challenge more because they need to start challenging. Those coaches need to unleash those DBs and let them get – once in a while, you're going to get burned. It's the way it is. But you can't keep giving up 10, 15 yards every single throw or you're going to get smoked. You got to reroute. You got to play physical. Secondary, just because you're a DB doesn't mean you can't be second or physical. I think Jurkovec is still going to have issues going ahead and trying to connect. Well, not as much as he did against Cincinnati. I think he's going to play much better. But I don't think that the defense or the offensive line is going to be able to maintain that, although I do like your tight ends. If you go 12, 13 personnel, there might be something to be said about that. Well, that could change and a little bit. They can throw a curveball against WVU's defense because your tight ends are good. I will say this. I'm going to go with Lee Colba, man. It's going to be 28-17 WVU.
28-17. I think that's fair. I do. I honestly think
I lose you there.
Win the turnover battle. We both have to. Both West Virginia and Pitt have to get turnovers.
Yeah, Virginia wins because we need it.
Yeah. Oh, you guys need it. I know there's like a small little cell in the back of your head that's saying this may turn out very bad for us, because that's exactly what I'm thinking. This may turn out very bad for us. And if, in my opinion, and this is the last thing I'll say before I head out, if Phil Jerkovic does not win this game, he needs to go.
All right. Well,
that's just my opinion. I know that's only 2 bad games, and there's 7 or 8 other games left to play, and he could win them all. But the thing is, if you can't win the most important games, what do you do?
Yeah. There you go. You gotta make changes. You gotta have winners. If you lose, you get fired. All right, Talking Spit, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you coming on. We'll have you back on the show again. But maybe we'll have a show on talk about after Pitt. See how it goes. All right.
Definitely. Thank you, Wolfman.
You got it. All right, man. Take care now.
You too.
All right, Talk is Pitt. I won't say his first name because you know what? I know he goes by Talk is Pitt, and I let it go with that. But thank you so much for coming on and giving us some inside information. So important to know your enemy, man. And I'll tell you what, Talk is Pitt. He knows that Pitt team, and I think he's got a pretty decent insight. West Virginia wins this game because it's the Backyard Brawl, and that's just the way it's got to be, right? It's got to be that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at this right here. I want to do a couple things here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. And what do I got here? Yeah, I got to do this real quick. Right here, and this here, of course, is Moundsville. Thursday, September 14th. What is that? 2 days from now? 2 days. The Band of Brothers, then and now. In Moundsville from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Co-op on 11th Street. You see that? Co-op on 11th Street. And let me just make this bigger up here for you, everybody there, so I can go ahead and make sure that everybody can see this here. Yep, there, I feel better there. Moundsville. Band of Brothers, Thursday, September 14th, Morgantown. Also Friday, September 15th. You can see that at Morgantown book signing, 5:30. Wow, 5:30, man. All right. And you can see 2814 University Town Center Drive, Barnes and No. That's big time. You know, Frank Fear is on here, a weekly show. And Frank, shout out to you and the Band of Brothers, the boys then and now. I want to have you guys on Thursday. Give me some picks for Pitt, some picks to click. That's all you need. Excuse me. And what else we got? So we got that for the Moundsville. Let's see, on Thursday at 12 to 5, and then Friday, September 15th. Very cool. All right, I got that for you guys, and get that out of the way. What else we got here? There's any other news we got? Let's see, press conference. Neil Brown. I do want to take a couple of shots here at the press conference. And
took care of business.
See what he has to say. He says he's taking care of business. Yeah, he's right. They did take care of business, getting almost 600 yards or over 600 yards on offense and holding that running game to very few yards. I think I can't remember right offhand, but it was a good job. So let's go ahead and listen to Neil Brown here, and I'll give you my thoughts.
We took care of business on Saturday night. Slow start, responded well after the delay, and got a convincing win, as we should have. You know, it was a fun night post the delay. I can't say it was a fun night before, but fun night post delay. Want to thank the fans that stayed. We had good energy in the stadium after the delay. Really good energy. I thought they did a good job game management wise. Fans were into it, so that was fun.
Yeah, I think it was too. And I agree with pretty much what he says. I mean, you can't be happy with the first part of the total. The game started out because you had a turnover in there, and you did some things that you probably wish you would have done differently. Although you were winning when the weather delay hit, but again, I'm going to say this right now is that I expected it to kind of have a lull starting off. It's just human nature. If you listen to Chris Neild, you listen to the people that have been in that situation, it's human nature after that Penn State, that big, all that. And then you got to come back and you see that it's not a Penn State, it's a Duquesne. And that's not an insult to Duquesne whatsoever. And they played hard, and I have a lot of respect for them and Jerry Schmidt there in that program. But I will say that it's tough. So them to go ahead and do that, then the weather delay, I think they would have gotten it going whether there's a weather delay or not. But, just that's the way it rolls. And that's human emotion, especially when they're 18, 19, 21, 22-year-old young men. And
you get really good pressure on opposing teams, extra points and field goals. And we handled all those specialty kicks. They never did kick it deep on kickoff return. I thought we did a good job handling those. We got to improve our punt coverage. Our expectation, our standard is to be elite there, and we weren't. And then obviously the miscue, that disappointing start. Defense gets a 3-and-out. Duquesne actually goes backwards on their first series. And then we don't do a good job. We don't have a sense of urgency running up, pointing to the ball, and so that was the real negative on special teams.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree with that. But I will tell you this: the punt. I hope Oliver Straw is good to go this week. I'm really hoping he is because I think he's going to have a spectacular year. Kickoffs in the end zone. How great is that? When's the last time that we consistently went ahead and kicked off right into the end zone? You didn't have to cover it. I do believe that the punt coverage that Neil Brown's special teams have always been good at the punt coverage. Not so good with the punt return. But I think, how about Preston Fox, huh? I know they had the turnover there, and I know that. But I think Preston Fox, he's a little gutsy guy. Because I remember calling the spring game on ESPN Plus there. And Preston Fox, all he did was catch the ball. He didn't Saturday night, but interesting enough, I like him there returning those punts. He's a gutsy young man.
Defensively, I thought we played really physical, played great against the run, 0.1 yards per rush. Third down efficiency was good. We had 2 interceptions. Obviously, where we got to improve is on pass coverage. And it's really a few guys that are playing with some bad fundamentals, whether it's not getting their hands on the 2 receiver and on zone drops, whether it's not looking at the quarterback when they should be looking at the quarterback. But we got to get better, and that's only going to continue to get exposed as we move through the season, starting this week, unless we get that fixed.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. You are 100% correct here, head coach Neil Brown. Unless you get that fixed, you are not going to go ahead and be able to get over that. Because that's bad. That's bad. And I like the fact that I started to see the second half, and I'm going to show film on that, but I started to see the players get up there and challenge. You have to go ahead and let them challenge. Or because it seems to me like you're holding them back. I'm not saying, but maybe when the coaches, they don't look coached well. They don't. And if that's your best, to say that, I saw Beanie Wells get up there, challenge, let them challenge, let them unleash. You might get beat every once in a while, but you're not challenging them every down, or you're not trying to reroute every down, but you got to mix and match. And that's what keeps offenses guessing. And you're always going to line up. And just like Penn State, when I showed you the playing off, one guy's 10 yards off, the other guy's 12, and you got two tight ends and a receiver. You know it's probably going to be a screen right there where they got the trips bunch right there in the sideline, and you're playing 10. There's no need for that. Get up there, challenge a bit through tight ends and then one receiver. And you have one guy back, at least two guys up there. Do something. Change it up. Be aggressive. Defense is about being aggressive. Don't let 1,000 slices of the dagger, right, just bleed you to death eventually. You know, sometimes you got to take a chance and to go ahead and just to be cushion. I mean, especially, you know, with that FCS. So, again, if you don't get that fixed, you are going to have problems. And it's going to start this weekend, whether Jerkovich went 10 for 32 or not. Because what that does is that just sets up confidence, because it's easy picks. Challenge it, man, especially when you talk about redirecting number two. If you don't do that, think about Texas Tech the next week. Think about those receivers coming in, right? Because you know they got great receivers. You know they got fast receivers. We know what happened last year when they hit the Big 12 schedule. That whole secondary never touched anyone. Xavier Worthy ran right on by everybody. All right, I'm just using him as an example. Thank goodness, right? They don't see Xavier Worthy this season. Here we go. Next.
Plus passing. I thought we were really efficient end of possession, third and fourth downs. There's one, we had a fourth and short that, you know, irks me a little bit that we didn't get. We were really good in the red zone, been good in the red zone 2 weeks in a row. And we had a bunch of explosive plays. You know, the negative is the turnover down there going in to score, and we had some drops, which we talked about after the game. And so, and the failed short yardage conversion that I talked about just a second ago.
All right, I got something to say about that. Now, failed short yardage. Okay, listen, I'm not going to sit here and just say I know I'm right about everything, and you know that's just not true. All right, but I'm pretty good at what I do know about and what I've been coaching about for years. And I'm going to tell you this is that anytime you go ahead and you go shotgun on short yardage, and you're going to go ahead and do that shotgun, chances are you may get it. I mean, Dana did it all the time, and he totally believes it, and obviously Neil believes in that. But go ahead, get up there in the center and go do it. He did it before. I've seen it. I mean, listen, in critical situations, you didn't need it on Saturday. Critical situations, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. In fact, you had Nico running it, and you got a 225-pound quarterback. I could just get underneath there and go and get pushed from behind. You know, I don't get it, man. And I want to tell you something else that I think the offense and what I saw, and we're going to do a little bit of film here. I saw them starting to move the pocket a little bit, which I've been calling for a lot. I think Cole Taylor has to really be picked up. Dropping the ball passes right now. I'm telling you right now. Get out of it. Get it out of your head right now. If you drop the ball, you're out of the game. That's what I would do with the receivers. Just putting this up with this. I'm not going to call anyone out. I'm just saying, if you're going to sit there and drop the ball when it's right in your hands, you say, you know what? We got other receivers that want to play. Just watch Clint do something special that came out of nowhere. A freshman young man that came out of nowhere. Somebody else wants to rise to the challenge. If you're going to drop these balls, again, I'm not picking on anybody now. What I'm saying is, if you're going to continue to do so, then you need to come out of the game, at least for a quarter. At least it's kind of like treated as a fumble. Because remember a couple of years ago when the West Virginia had the drops? It's contagious in the room. Contagious. Don't let it be contagious. Don't. No, not happening. Not happening. All right, so let's go ahead, and now we're going to hit some film at work. But let's just do this first, and let's get Abby in here. Go ahead and talk about being NIL part of our stores.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Alrighty, and welcome back to the Wolfman's Call. Let me see what I got here. I have some film here I want to go ahead and play. And, I just love film so much. And what I'm seeing here is this is basically going to be the short end. This is the highlights here with I wanted to show a little bit with Garrett Green, make sure I get into it. And then I'm going to go into a longer version with this being played here. But let's go ahead and open this up. Right there we go. Yep. Get me out of there. And let's just go ahead and check this out right here. Because this is what I like. I like this. And Garrett Green. And let's watch. Hey, I want to tell you something. Did you see? Now, CJ Donaldson, I like what he's doing. And he's a dude. And he's tough. I kind of see him creeping a little bit. I like to see him kind of, go ahead, develop, be patient like he's doing. But then exploding to the hole. But Jalen Hannity, you see number 0. You see him running? Do you see him? Now, you just wait and see. I'm not saying he's going to take over CJ, nothing like that. But I'm saying this is good. Now, with Justin Johnson, jump cut Johnson, with him having a banged up shoulder and but Jalen coming out, this is good. Watch him here in the running. Again, he's got some feet. He's got some explosion there. He's got a little burst, and he's got some moves, and he's also got some size to him, right? I mean, when I look at him here, he's got 9 attempts and 5 yards per rush. So again, Jaheim White, don't even worry about that. But CJ Downson's at 4.4. But you see, Jalen here, he's at 5 yards. I'm telling you, I like what he's doing, and he's a good mix, mix or a mesh with C.J. Donaldson, and then you put a Jaheim White or you go with J.J., whatever it is. But again, this is a good sign for WVU, great sign. But again, watch this here, and I really dug this first down, but check it out, man. He comes in here, it's good blocking, and he breaks through a tackle. And he carries another guy for what? How many yards? 3 yards more? I mean, that's a good deal. Watch here. You see this? This is nothing but a split zone right here, meaning that the tight end's coming from one edge to the other edge, and everyone else is blocking one way, and he's trying to split and make a zone, a hole through it, right? Called split zone. And Cole Taylor. And let me say this, Cole Taylor, watching him block a little bit, I'm not saying he's a monster. He's killing, he's crushing, but he's getting in people's way now. At 6'7", yeah, he's getting in people's way, and he's not doing bad at all. Again, I'm not trying to say he's a physical guy killer. I think he's learning, but I'm kind of impressed here. All right, so you're looking at double. You go from the pistol look here, moving up to the gun look, double strong gun. Right there is what I call that formation. And what's it good? Oh, look at this now. This is really good. You saw him, Garrett Green, pull, right? You saw him pull and score a touchdown against Penn State. Well, again, you got to keep this. Pitt's watching this film now. Pitt is watching this film, and I'm sitting here. So let's take a look at this. All right, I'm seeing this now. Is this a called with him pulling, or did he pull this on his own? Right? Let's check it out right here. See, I'm not sure that's not a called play right there. All right, because if that was called play, I'll be honest with you, he should have given the ball up. Watch, this end is taking him. This end is taking him. So I'm not sure if that's a called play or did Garrett make a bad decision here. But if it was a true read zone, well, that could be the case. Or is he also maybe doing a triple option where there's a screener? Did you see up here? I mean, Clement was looking to see if he was going to throw the ball for his screen. That could be a true triple option, right? Maybe he was thinking, I don't know. We'll have to see how that develops. But again, do you guys see are you picking up what I'm putting down? You can either hand the ball off to Jalen Anderson. Now, if he was doing just a read zone with that, just a read zone, all right, he would have gone ahead and hand that ball off if he wanted to correct. But watch here. Watch Clement up top. On there. Oh, now I did just the two on that one. Figures I would go ahead and do that. But again, they were biting with the screen. There was a screen option there as well. So that could have been a triple right there option with the handoff, run for Garrett Green, or throw the screen. That's cool. Now, I told you, I showed this a couple weeks ago or last week. I wanted a USC did something similar to that with the back out, the up back out of the backfield. Were they going to hand it off to the running back and the back running back, or he could have run it, or then he threw it to the up back coming out of the backfield? Wow. All right. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, maybe they're listening to me. I don't know. Very good. Now watch that. All right, so you got that play there, and man gets a scholarship, 177 yards, I believe, and Talking's Pitt is trying to blow smoke up our canteen, and we need to fear. Everybody needs to fear who this is. This is a young man. I am so happy for him, and he could have a really good freshman year, and he's going to play, I think, and we'll see how he grows. In fact, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Maybe that would be a better thing because I don't have the crystal ball, but I have a tough time believing that maybe you had a good night because maybe they're FCS. Maybe they're FCS. So we'll see. It doesn't mean take away from him or his scholarship. I love the fact they got a scholarship. Love it, love it, love it. All right? We should give a scholarship to every darn kid that worked his can off because they all deserve it when they go through these programs. They all deserve it. Again, I like the throw. Now, listen, it's, again, Garrett Green, as you say, a deep ball. Really nice ball. Even the ones that Preston Fox dropped. Okay, those are nice balls that they had. I thought he had a really solid night on deep ball, but he was never under pressure either, which, of course, any quarterback would either. If you're under pressure, it makes it a lot harder. So, again, I'm giving Gigi the credit. I still have not seen him go ahead and do that intermediate passing game, which I would like to see so much. It kind of reminded me a little bit, and I'm a big Skylar Howard fan, huge Skylar Howard fan. But he could throw the deep ball, he could throw the short ball. Well, he had a tough time that intermediate throws, and a tough time all season long he did. But they did go 10-2 regular season. All right, looking at the defense here. What I love about this is 91, Sean Martin. And I know Duck's a friend of mine, his grandfather, and he's Duck's a Mountaineer, played, but you know what? This kid's bad. This kid, he's turned bad. And I've been watching it, and he's been a gentle giant, and he's got the G's, but watch him hit, and watch how hard the kid hits the ground here, his opponent. I mean, this is some good stuff. Watching this. Just to share, he's doing some things right now. Look at the play. He plays. He keeps his shoulders square, even though he's squeezed down. Maybe something coming back, right? Because if something goes away, something could be coming back. He keeps his shoulders square to the backfield. Turns it when it's time to turn. He flips the hips when it's time to flip the hips, and he makes a solid tackle. And it's a strong tackle, and he's throwing his weight around. There's no hesitancy. Is what I'm trying to get at. Before. Not so much last year, but as he's been going on, he's just been getting his confidence. He's confident in his abilities. He's confident in his strength. His body's turned strong, and he's playing strong. And now he's playing with speed and confidence. So guess what? Sean Martin, number 91, man, this is your year. Keep it going. Keep it going. God bless. So happy for you, young man, young brother. I'm telling you right now. This is a good stuff. Watch him play. Watch him be physical. You saw him at Penn State last week. Look at those long arms. Do you see those long arms? It's like they couldn't even get to his body because he's got long arms right there. That's what you want. You want talent, but you also got to have the good graces of what God gave you, man. The blessings from there. So that's just awesome right here. And I just love watching it because he takes them down with authority. And you're saying, oh, well, you're just making a big deal. No, that is a big deal right there because that's what you need. And that is also going to be an example to the other defensive linemen in the room. So not only are they wanting to go ahead and be that type of player, but they're seeing him be that type of player. So he's leading on the field. and showing them that this is what it takes and to play like this and be physical, and they see it, and it's good for them to see it. So, yeah, I'm making a big deal of it. You're darn right, because you know what? Unless you have it, if you don't have it, then you don't have it. Well, they do have it. All right, so watching here. Again, now look at this. So, again, we saw the early parts where they weren't playing. This is rough and ready. He's going ahead. He's challenging. He's up there. He's not going giving them 5 yards cushions and then even taking it a step when they break. He's reacting. He's on it. This is how you got to play it. You got to have confidence, right? You got to show that you. How far is it? He's 5 yards at the very top up here. A little bit cut off from the screen. But if you show this, he's giving him, well, maybe there's 6 yards right there. But regardless, you got to go ahead and give him that. He's there, but watch the break. He's right on the break. That's good. Look at everybody else. I like that is confidence now that you're going ahead and you're playing that. I didn't see that before. You heard Neil Brown say in the press conference, I just played it. I just doggone played it. All right? You got to have the confidence. You got to have the right skill. You got to be coached right. Well, if you're not playing it right, if you're being coached right, let's say, okay, Shadon Brown, you're coaching them right, when they're not playing that, then you got to take them out. You got to teach them a lesson. And I don't mean take them out and just get rid of them. I'm saying take them out, show them they're not doing it, and then say, all right, go back in when it's time. When the coach. But that's up to the coach. But you can't sit there and keep them in there and say, no, that's not right, and then just keep them in there. You have to make a point. And there's nothing that makes a player better than put them on the bench after they screw up, let them think about it, and then come back. But they got to know that because there's a competitive edge going on and competitiveness on the team that you don't have a position locked up. All right, nobody should be good enough in this defense right now to just be able to start. Period. Nobody. Maybe Lee Coma. Maybe that's it. All right. All right, I'm a fan, right? Okay, so here we go. As I want the same play. All right, but I just want to say that's the difference. It's 3rd and 10. You're not giving them 15-yard cushion. You're on them, and you make a play. Good job, Ruffin. Good job. That's what we want to see. Challenge. Yes, you are going to get beat up some. Yes, you will. It will happen. You'll get beat. But you have to let them play. I'm telling you, you have to let them play. You got to take the leashes off and let them play and live with it. All right, so you see it right here, Garrett Green. He's coming through. Oh, here we go. All right. That's the screen right there. I wanted to show this here. I wanted to show this with Brad. You got to catch the ball, man. It's just, you know what? It's your second year. I think a world of you. I think you got a lot of talent. But if you got to go ahead and catch that ball. If you don't, then there's going to be problems. And for you got to catch the ball or you're going to lose playing time. That's all I'm saying right here. You got to like the screens. I like the blocking the offensive line. They invite up, but he catches the ball there. I got it. I want to make that point about him just because I tell the truth. Right here. That's right. Okay, now you can say, hey, Wolf, they're doing what you told them to do. Move the pocket. Yep, that's right. So he can go ahead and move that pocket, but guess what? When you move that pocket, I'm still expecting you to have to be accurate. Okay, now, moving that pocket, you get out, you use your legs, Garrett Green, because now you can, see better, number one. Number two is you can possibly use your legs. Now, that's a bad throw, but the next play is going to be a good throw. So, again, now he's going against the grain, difference here, but not bad. He's seeing, he's riding right there. I like it. He's throwing, just got to be accurate. That's not accurate enough, so figure that out. He's got to improve his accuracy. We all know it. I'm not telling you anything that nobody doesn't know. He knows it himself. So, once again, watch it here. Now, again, they're moving the pocket. This is good. They didn't do this against Penn State. They didn't do this. Attack, attack, attack. Look what happens here. You have an opportunity. Get your guy. There's nobody running down. No one's going to catch him going ahead and rolling out, usually. Not at least in a short pass like that. All right, that's using your strength. That's using your quarterback strength. Using his legs, using what he's got, his speed to get out. I mean, that's good stuff, man. The 2nd and 7, you see it. And, what what are they bringing some heat right here? They're not too much now, but they did a little twist of the game, and he's outside the pocket, taking the pressure off the offensive lineman now. How much, one of those tackles, how about with that Chop Robinson on Penn State? How much would that have been nice if they would have just moved the pocket a little bit and helped out their offensive lineman and just not beat them up all day, right? And just drop them straight down back. Again, look what this does when you move the pocket. It takes the pressure off of your offensive lineman, especially your tackles that are usually going against the best pass rushers right there. It's on the edge. So, again, that's a great deal. Good job, Neil Brown. Look at him. I'm telling you see that right there? That is just galloping along because that's what he can do really well. And then here, this is nice. Oh, I like this, all right? This is an actor right here. Garrett Green's a bit of an actor, all right? I can see it. I would have bought that right there. It looks like 3 defenders bought that screen pass right here. That's good play calling. I like it. You put him in a bind. You throw the screen, and you put him in a bind. Very good, very good. Does he act? And he just shows it up. He's like, I don't want to screw that up because that's just an easy home run right there. And man gets a scholarship for it. So you got to be happy with that. Boy, they didn't even bite. I mean, they just got after it, all 3 of them. Yeah. Hey, I screwed up many times in college. Don't worry about it. It's just that was pretty good. All 3 of them sucked in. Yep. I know. One more. I'm just letting it go. Just let it go. And he's high. It was that long step. I don't know about so much high stepping, but he was long stepping that, man. All right, so that's that. Okay, so let's get the next bit of film here, and then I'll go a little bit. And I want to get to Nico tomorrow on film here at the end, but we're gonna have. Oh, I know we have Freddie Boom coming in tomorrow. Can't wait for that with Freddie. I think we might have David Grant. Remember the nose guard played 49ers. I think that he played against Joe Montana in the Super Bowl, the John Candy, all that. But David Grant, he was a beast, man. Probably the toughest nose guard I ever went against in all my career. David Grant, he was 300 pounds, 305. He's probably 6'3 and a half, 6'4 maybe. But he was so quick. Like if he was a one technique in your guard, you had to cut him up. Like, wow, he's so quick and powerful with all that weight. Man, he had a big can. Butt. He had a huge butt like that. He was like Neil was a different type of nose guard where he ate up to 2. David Grant, he was a penetrator, man. Woo. Both of them play in the NFL. Both of them are tough as nails here, right? All right, what do we got here? Let's take a look. Get over here. This is some good stuff here. Oh, tell me this doesn't get you fired up right here. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, I wanted to show you this because this is a full screen. You can see all 22, 11 on 11 right here. And you can see that the defense, this is basically cover 4. It looks like cover or quarters. And let's see if they change. That's the snap read that they're getting right now for the quarterback that he's getting. It looks like it could be quarters. Okay. There's no motion going on, but what does it do? It changes into what here? It changes. It looks like it's man free as the secondary is coming down, and you see the line here just being tough. But again, I wanted you to see that with what you saw was it showed cover 4, and then you see Aubrey Burks coming down. He's attacking. It could be cover 3. Nah, it looks to me it's man free. So he looks to me like he's got a man free. And then let's move ahead here to the pile and see what we got here. Yeah, there we go. We focus up on the pile. You got a 4-man front. You almost have, you got 6.5 in the box. Again, they're straddling it right here. Not too bad. Of course, they got a tight end right there. And big penetration, blew that play up. Not going down. And that's what you have to like is the secondary. Now, this is still the first quarter, so you see this. They still didn't play terribly. It was those big passes. That's what it was. A couple runs that they had, but that was about it. Oh, now look at this. You see the guy there right here, quarterback, Trey Lathan. Now, I want to tell you something. Right? I like him He's a young guy. Trey Layton, he's got, 9 tackles total. He's got a TFL. He's got 4 quarterback hurries. 4. That's right. In 2 games, 4 quarterback hurries. That's pretty good. You can see him here. Very good job. Well, he's just coming right away. The offensive lineman to see him, and he just decleats him. Be careful with your head. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm saying is be careful, young buck. I can't stand the rule of targeting that you get kicked out of the game right away. I like to see, kind of like how harsh was it? Like if you did it by accident, if it was intentional, yeah, get him out of the game. But it's not intentional. If you're just playing football, there's got to be some way to do it. Kind of like a technical 1, T1 or T2. I think they need to figure that out, right? Okay, so here again, be careful with what you got. But boy, I tell you, he's good, man. He's good. And I'll tell you something else. There's some guys here in the defensive line shocking me. Mike Lockhart, shocking me. All right? That's what I'm saying here. And again, let's go look at their showing right here. Possible blitz, not knowing who's coming, who's dropping. But you can see that all they're doing is rushing 3, right? Oh, they're rushing 3. I hate the 3. Oh, I hate it. There you go. It worked out that time. Good job dropping on the corners there. Good series, right? Because I'm going through this series. I showed you a couple of the highlights there. And I like breaking down. I want to see a game progress through. I want to see how the players progress. And I'm looking at it right here, and you're seeing 2 backs. You're seeing a tight end and 2 receivers here. So basically, you see the tight end at the top. And what do you got? Boy, I tell you, 2 running backs. I like this formation. This could be interesting. You're going to set them in motion, okay? Oh, quarterback draw. There you go, quarterback draw. We used to do this with Major Harris all the time. How are they setting it up? Looks pretty good here. What's Brandon Yates doing? Go get him now, Brandon. Go get him. You see him? All right. Go get him. Go attack. The idea is that sometimes you get out there as an offensive lineman and you start to wander. You want to rush up there. You have to be watching your vision. And I'm Brandon Yates, left and right, so because it happens fast. That quarterback's on you before you know it. Major Harris is always right there, and you had to be quick about who you were going to go find in the linebacker depth at level 2. Watch again. Now they're twisting right here. So again, look at Brandon Yates. He's got to be looking, right? Got to be looking. Where do you see? You see it now. He sees go. There you go. Not bad, but he still gets in the tackle. Still a little quicker recognition. All right, I think I've beat that drum to death. And let's see what else we got here. All right, so now 2nd and 6, right? He's going to take it back. Looks like it's a little play action. Oh. Preston Fox, all he did was not catch the ball. He's way better than that. Morgantown High, Preston Fox, I know you're way better than that. You catch that ball, young man. That's what you need to do, and you will. That wasn't even play action, though. That was just a card pulling out. All right. So, 2nd and 6, gets him, beats him nice. All right. I know Preston's going to catch that ball. There you go. Hits you in your elbow, right here in the pit. Got to use your hands, young man. Use your hands. I'm telling you, I know you. And I know how good you are. You'll be fine. Make the catch next time. There you go. All right, so 3rd and 6. Got to run the ball. Here comes CJ. All right, not bad. Now, that wasn't bad right there. That's not what I'm really quite talking about. Is he got to go in a little more. You got to have patience to begin with. And then I think if he explodes, man, it's going to be hard to stop. Just explode. Once you make that decision, go. And I think he's close. I mean, I'm not sitting here telling him as he's doing something wrong. It's not what I'm doing. Look at again, you got what? Cole Taylor here leading the way. You see that? I'm telling you, this Cole Taylor, he's out and about. He's really impressing me. There's 2 guys that have really jumped out at me that I've watched these last 2 games. One is Cole Taylor at tight end for just beyond catching the ball. And the other one, well, I'm not going to go the other one because I'm still way Mike Lockhart, keep it going. Keep crushing it. Keep running the ball, man, or running after the ball. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm waiting. Show me. But here comes Cole Taylor, and again, I'm not going to say he's killing the blocks and like physicality, but he's kind of killing the blocks and physicality. And he's getting away and he's being effective. Man, this tight end, let him help your quarterback. Let him help. And I think that they're really starting to see that. I mean, they got what? They got the tight end. They got a tight end. I've been calling for a tight end screen for 3 years. 3 years. Anyone that's followed me knows exactly. And they did it. And there he is picking up the guy. He's hooking the defensive lineman. Very nice. All right, so we got another play here. Oh. All right. Oh, that didn't go very well. Oh, all right. What happened here? Where's the penetration? All right. That's just part of the scheme right there. You got two guys going left. You're handing it off. You got Cole Taylor going right. So you actually got two plays going on right now where it's a choice. And the choice was he handed it off. Yeah. You know what? He could have followed. He could have done the handoff and probably followed it better there. I think that may have been a poor choice on Garrett Green's part. But I don't know enough about that play to say, well, I don't know enough to say that. I'm gonna leave that up there. I'll let a coach that knows what they're talking about exactly with that play decide that. So now it's 2nd and 13, right? You got the negative play here. He's just going to go ahead and hand it off right up the middle. That's not quite the movement I think that this offensive line is looking for, especially against a three-man front here. And I don't see a big push. I want to see more of a push, it looks to me. Zach fell down on that one, so that probably hindered that performance right there in the middle. But again, I think you can do better here. So offensive line here, they got to do better. They got to combo better, the inside zone, and you got to get up to the second level to the linebackers. There's no doubt. You got to do that better, especially against inferior competition. Watch right here. Something's going on. People falling down. People just, it's just a mess. It's a mess. It's not what you want. So, okay, 3rd and 10, Cole Taylor. What did I point out about Cole Taylor here? 3rd and 10. Uh-oh. What's happening? Uh-oh. Oh, there he is. Oh, what did I just say? What do I have, a crystal ball? Yeah, I guess I watched this on tape. There you go. Look at him coming around. Oh, he's 6'7", man. He's throwing his body around, right? Okay, I mean, he's pulling. Oh, look at Wyatt Milan there. Good job there, left tackle. And there's Cole Taylor. And I guess I'm just so happy that I knew he's going to be a receiver. I didn't know that he was going to be this effective. And I'm talking about Penn State now, too. All right, so this isn't just saying that against here, but he's a guy, he's not afraid. He's 6 foot. You thought, I'm 6'7". I'm a tight end. I'm a pretty boy. LSU. I got the hands, Yeah, he's got the nasty in him. He's got the nasty, right? Look at that. It's not beautiful, but it's gritty. It's throwing your body around. And when you're 6'7", sometimes that's all it takes is to get a guy by. And what did I tell you? Watch out, Jalen Anderson. Watch out. He's doing some good things. He's looking good. There you go. Oh, okay. Rodney Gallagher. Nice. Let's watch this. And again, there's Cole Taylor out there leading. Didn't do much here because Rodney cut it back. The defense reacted to it, so not much Cole could do. Again, I thought about this. I'm like, wow, 6:35. Duquesne's up, and it's, you're doing a reverse here. It's not a bad play, Cole. Not a bad play. I'm like, you want to get your freshman in there, true freshman. This is the game to do it. You talked all week long. You want to get him going, get him some touches, and this is nice. Not too bad. I thought about it first. I was like, no, I don't like it. Now I said, you know what? It's not a bad play call. Not a bad play call. And it's in there, almost in the red zone right there. Yeah, that's not a bad play call. I take it back, and he took it up, and it was very nice. Look at him. He's used to running the ball. Put your mouthpiece in, young man, so your teeth don't get chipped. Your mother will be happy that I said that. All right. Now, this is RPO. This is the touchdown play, right? I got to tell you, this is tight. This is tight. And I'm just pointing out because in the Wolfman's Call, we're truth. And it's not just about WVU, but it's going to be about truth. And that is this right here. Garrett's going to get the call. He's going to make it. And you see Clem's going to get his first touchdown right here. Look right here at the down lineman. All right. Now check this out. Don't think I'm not getting – listen, I'm telling you right here. Look at the guards, right? The guards, and check it out right there. All right? I mean, is it? I don't even know if this is – I don't even know. I can think you get 3 yards downfield in college for an offensive lineman, but engaging – but look. I mean, if this is what you can do at RPO, run pass option, and go ahead because you got the run going on. I mean, what an advantage for an offense. I mean, any offense, not West Virginia's. I'm just saying rules. Hey, rules people. You can't have this. You can't have these guys coming up here 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, sucking up these linebackers so that he can go ahead. I mean, I'm just trying to say, what's up with that? I mean, again, you can see, look at Tomas. He's 3.5 yards is right down the field. Oh, no wonder why those linebackers get sucked up and the thing. If that's the rules and they say that's legal, what can I say? I can only go along with the rules, but, it's something else. Oh, that's when you look at it, film, and you're like, what? What in the world? All right. 1st and 10 going back. We got a few more of these. I'm having a lot of fun today, though, so this is good for me. Tomorrow I want to check out some highlights of Nico, show you what's going on with them, show you some other guys on defense, and we'll just check out and see maybe some younger offensive linemen here. Well, let's watch this. What are we seeing here? Getting some room up there, getting some movement. Now, look at this 15 Cutter. All right, Ben Cutter, Will linebacker. You got Trey Lathan. He's a true freshman. I like him. He gets a little bit caught up here, but I'll tell you what, he's not afraid. Look at it. He sticks his nose right there, number 15 there, and he's a true freshman. He's coming up, a big tackle, and, he's got to learn. He's got to learn, and he throws, it gets in there, go to Hall. That's how you learn, man. That's fun. That's physical. Getting your face and getting your nose, getting a punch in there, man. That's what's cool about it. All right? There's a young buck out there playing. And this is what? The first quarter that he's playing here. So right there, you see the line that's coming up. Keep it rolling here. All right, you see Sean Martin take out a double team. Now, I want to see Sean Martin. Go ahead, Sean. You gotta try to sit that down a little bit there because I don't think that's the way they're teaching him. I like to see that. But everything else he's done is perfect. Not bad. I mean, he's still the anchor. I mean, there's a poor tackle right there coming in. Don't tackle his ankles, tackle his legs. You can say that's Beanie. That's Beanie coming in there. But you know what? I mean, don't tackle his legs. You tackle his ankles, and it's got 4 yards. So, yes, you did secure the tackle. Could you have done a better job? I think so right here. So, okay. Oh, look at this. You see Sean Martin. Here you go again. And he's putting the pressure on. I'm going to let it run right here for you. Just to see this out. This is good. Good. Look at him just coming around the edge. He's got to have a big year. Keep coming, young man. This West Virginia needs to have him have a big year. Number 91. Yep, I got the arrow there. I know. I got it. Coming around the edge. Big man matter. You made him go out. You're doing your job. I like the hands. You did a chop down, and things are coming together for you. And going ahead and throwing the ball downfield. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing, challenging, trying to make plays. Good job. All right. What else? I know there's one here that I wanted to get at. Oh, there you go. Aubrey Burks coming on up. I like this. This is physicality. Then you see Ben Cutter right there coming up as well. And see that? Look at him. He comes right up, hits the tight end. He's a true freshman, man. This kid was playing high school last year, right? And now he's here in the second game of the season, and he's getting reps, and he's not afraid. He's a face plugger. What does that mean? He plugs his face right in yours. He's a face plugger, baby. Yeah, you got to love that. Ben Cutter coming up 15. That's why I put that in. And let's see what else here. Now, oh, yeah. All right. So it's 3rd and 10. This is what I'm talking about. All right. Just running yourself out. Just running yourself right out of it. Okay. When he makes his cut, you got to know it's 3rd and 10. You got to know where the yard marker is. That's too easy. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Challenging. All right. And if you're going to do this, you got to be aggressive to make a cut in the front. And he does that right there. You got to just do that out, 10-yard out, 11-yard out. And you got to make a break of the ball. You're getting way too much, way too easy. If that's the way you want to play defense, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I think that's what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut it off right there with that one and show you. Sean Martin actually got through there pretty quickly. Could have been a sack, but let's cut it off there because I don't want to go negative. Listen, we've said it. I put it in there. I've told you exactly what I think. I showed you the film. All right, I think we see it now, except I want to show Nico tomorrow because Nico, I think people need to see him and what he does good, what he needs to work on, all that good stuff. I think it's only fair to go ahead and have constructive criticism on Garrett. I think you got to have it on Nico as well because the quarterback spot is so huge. What did we learn today, though? What did we learn today? We learned that Cole Taylor is a dude. All right, he's not afraid to get dirty. He's not afraid to scrap it up. Let's go, Traylon Davis. Yeah, man, come on now. You got some competition going there. Let us serve because there's going to be we're going to need you too, big guy. And it's 12 personnel. You go ahead, 2 tight ends and any other tight ends that want to get in the mix. Let's go because I love 12 personnel. I love the tight end thing. All right, we learned. You got Lockhart. Just run down the field, and he's being really, really impressive. All right, keep it up. Keep it up. I had this one play in here I wanted to show you. I don't know where it is down here, so maybe I'll pull it up for you tomorrow and show you the play. He ran all the way downfield, all the way. Like, it was better than the Penn State tackle he had downfield. He went ahead and he tackled a guy in a 2.5-yard line. And in fact, I think it led to a field goal, not a touchdown, because his big can was running down the field and he made some good TFLs. I want to put together a film on Lockhart. Big, he's huge. I told you Sean Martin for the defense line is huge for him being at that level. Well, you got Mike Lockhart, and I'm telling you, that's a different player than last year. Last year, I was like, wow, you got to do better than that. And it looks like he trained this year to do better than that. And, Eddie Vestinarian, I know he's just a hard worker. He's got to keep coming along. He's a young dude. But at the same time, man, Lockhart, keep it up, man. Keep your ferocity, for lack of a better word. Keep that up and keep your snap, that power, that punch. I'm telling you, it's impressive. Impressive. Cole Taylor. Jalen Anderson, I like what you're doing, man. I like it. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I think that you could really do something here that could be special for you and in your terms of playing time. Jalen Anderson, keep going. Garrett Green, wow. All right. Good long ball. Good job. Receivers, got to start catching those balls. So let's go, Preston Fox. You're much better than that. You're much better. Braham, let's go, man. Get yourself going. Too many easy drops for you. Garrett Green, let's get that accuracy in that game. Let's move those pockets. That's good stuff. You're doing what I think you need to do to be successful. And you can see when you move the pocket, there's so many advantages. What happens when it's not there to the throw, but you can put the defense in double dip conflict, right? So because you can run the ball as well and use exceptionally well what you do well. So again, it's all about how you do all this and who's standing out. Sean Martin, yeah, man. How about this? How about Cutter? Yeah, and Trey Lathan and Will Backer. I mean, the two of them they're both face pluggers. You got to like that, and of course, Koba, all that good stuff. You know what he's doing. Aubrey Burks. Looks like you came up, you did some strong things. You came up and made some a couple nice tackles there. And secondary, let's get together. When you're in zone coverage, and I want to just explain this because zone coverage, how I was taught in zone, is when you have a specific zone, but when an opponent comes into that zone, you treat that opponent when in your zone as man coverage until they exit that zone. Oh, okay, so you just don't sit there. You can't just drift and drift, and you got to make it so it's tight on what you see in front of you. I think physicality. I think being able to redirect. When you see a whole bunch of receivers playing on air, it makes it really hard for the secondary. It makes it hard for them when you don't have pressure on a quarterback, and if you don't put that pressure, if you rush 3, wow, man, and you don't get there in 3, again, I take it back to Oklahoma State last year. Dante Stills was causing havoc on that quarterback for Oklahoma State, and they're only rushing 3. Well, then that's good. Okay, because now you are dropping 8, but you got to have some pressure so they can't. I would hate to see Jurkovic for Pitt having all kinds of time. I know he went 10 for 32. Guy's played a lot of years of football at the Power 5 level. Boston College, he's had some success. All right, he's shown a lot of yards. All right, this with Pitt probably is going to be better this week, just in their timing, their rhythm, and all that. Cincinnati won't take anything away from them, but that's what they are. So Jurkovic, you got to have to put some pressure on him, I think. I really do. So we'll go ahead and wait to get into that. But what I want to do, Nico, I want to show you a little bit of Mike Lockhart. I might have a Cole Taylor 2 video or play for you. I want to show you a little bit of Zach Frazier. Wyatt Milam is playing really strong. Doug Nestor's playing strong. Tomalos Remock and Brandon Yates, man, he's got some juice going in him. So let's get some encouragement going. Let's get it fired up, and let's go, Mountaineers. We got anything going on here? Anything else? What do we got here? Let's see here. Thank you, Wolfman, for breaking down film and host people like me and others that do not quite understand the ins and outs. You do a great job. Yep, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let's see. Frank Fear is always there. Frank, did you see? I got your thing up, man. I forgot yesterday, but I got your events coming up for Thursday, Friday, your signings. And if you want to come on tomorrow, we can go ahead and remind people about that as well. See, Jaheim White, you thought he looked very fast. Yeah, I did too. That's why he got 100 yards. I mean, that's another observation. I will say this, though, is that Jaheim White, he looks good. Jalen Anderson, he's got my attention right now. But I understand Jaheim White is very fast and very talented, very skilled with the ball. Let's see. I think Neil Brown's wearing the cap from All right, Mike. All right. So there. Talker Smith, thanks for having me on. Yeah, you got it, buddy. I appreciate that. And you know what? That Pitt tight end is legit. There's no doubt about it. Legit. Let's see. Let me see. What do we got here? Like number 6. All right, not sure. All right. Let's do this. Gotta do it every day. I gotta go ahead and do it. And we gotta get our network going, man. I just want to thank Mark Plants. Mark Plants is a former fullback for the Mountaineers, and he's supporting us and Kevin Davis Legal. They're both the law offices of Plants and Davis legal office down there in Charleston. If you're in Charleston, go ahead and get it. And of course, Parmar Stores. You know how much Parmar Stores takes care of the WolfMan's Call, Big B Wall and all that. We thank you so much for that. And what else? Buzz Balls. This month we got Buzz Balls. Hey man, get the party started, right? This week against Pitt. the Backyard Brawl. Get your buzz balls. Get the party started here. And, of course, we're going to go ahead with this. And we're going to go with Archies in the heart of the evil empire there, Pitt. Yeah, Archies there. Love the place, man. I know they got great wings, and right there on East Carson Street and Pittsburgh. And then you got Route 22 Sports Bar right in Weirton, West Virginia. 12 50-inch screens put together, combined. I hope that I'm on one of the many other ones that I don't think up there. That could be pretty wide. All right. And then, of course, you got Calacino's. They're in Beckley Pizzeria, Sports Bar. Great pizza, man. Love Calacino's. Then you got Cantrell's, River City Grill and Pub, right on the river in Hinton, West Virginia. And out there you got Aaron Gizzy, their Legends Sports Bar and Grill, Cheat Lake, West Virginia. Danny's down there in Princeton, all the way to the bottom of the state. Yes, shout out to you, Danny's down there. Hope you're enjoying the football breakdowns. Don't think anyone else is giving them to you, not like I do, because I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you, man, what's the deal. And then you got Kegler Sports Bar and Grill. Kegler's, man, right in Morgantown, royalty. You got to love it. And, of course, you have the Tap House with Melissa there. Say hello to Melissa right there on Oakland Street in Morgantown, right by all the students there, the Mountaineer Tap House. What's up, Mel? And then you got Jimbo's place. So nice. They had to do it twice. That's right. Jimbo's at Elkins and Jimbo's in Buckhannon. I actually went there, man. The wings are incredible. The Philly cheesesteak sandwich, incredible. And, of course, you got my buddy Rob Davis down there in Bridgeport. Brickside Bar and Grill. Eat locally. They got over 30 beers on tap. You got the Pitch down there in Dunbar, West Virginia. Wow, what a cool place. I went there weekend ago or 2 weekends ago, and excellent food, excellent everything, and they have fields there you can watch. It was just a really cool place, really neat. And then you got the Mason Jar Barbecue and more in Fairmont, Steve Reese, and unbutton your britches because the barbecue is crazy good. And, of course, you got the Pallet. We had the pregame for Penn State, the Pallet Bar there. They have 24 all kind of craft beers and just a great place. Appreciate it. What's up, Haley? And I think I covered it all. The Mason or the Jar, not the Mason Jar Saloon. We got to change it to the Jar and Hotspot in Morgantown, right there. And Steve Reese and just change that over. Brand new owners. They're keeping it going and trying to make it as good as they can. I hear it's really good stuff. So all that, all right, you got that, and that's it. Let's close this off. Let's hear from Zach Frazier. And we got HR Pickett stuff, fight on. Let's see, hope the top two wide receivers will be healthy for WVU versus Pitt. I do as well. And so Timothy Green, well, I'll go ahead and put that up for you, buddy. I think WVU wins 31-21. What did I say? I said 28-17. I said I thought that's what the score would be for WVU. And let's see. That's it. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's close this off. Where's Zach Frazier at? Where's the All-American? Where's the best center in the country? Well, I'm not sure where he is exactly right now, but I do know where I'm going to put him right here for the commercial. Let's go, Zach Frazier. Everybody, have a great evening. This is Tuesday of Pitt Week. How was Chris Neild? Was he awesome?
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
Yeah, we had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. All Mini, the anywhere, anytime chargers. powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Pallet Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy. Stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of paw. Order now at pawmini.com.
West Virginia United.